Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mediocre Reviews and Awesome Brews. I'm your host Tony. Today I have for you Founders Backwoods Bastard. Now this is a bourbon barrel aged Scotch ale coming in at 10.2% ABV and 50 IBUs. Let's go ahead and crack this open and get it in a glass, see what we got, and talk about it a little bit. Freshly rinsed snifter. Get a little more aggressive on that. Not too much of a head, but tons of carbonation streaming up. Wow. Really nice dark brown color. Definitely some ruby highlights around the edges. Little bit of murkiness in there. I let it set out for about 20 minutes, which is a little bit longer than what I normally let a beer set out for. So I can get that. I like to get that initial cold flavor, and at that 10 to 15, I usually let it set out for about 10 to 15 minutes, and it develops pretty nicely in the glass over the next 5 to 10 minutes during a review. Anyways, let's go ahead and get an aroma on it. Oh wow, definitely get that bourbon in there. Really sweet caramel toffee. Really nice vanilla character in there. Still get a little bit of a dark fruit mingling really well with that, with that oak character. Anyways, let's go ahead and get a taste on it. Cheers, guys. Wow. Okay, right off the bat, definitely, wow. Get a really great caramel toffee character in there. Mixes really well with the vanilla. Definitely bourbon forward also. They're kind of neck and neck. They kind of play the caramel and toffee and the vanilla and that bourbon really play right on the tip of the tongue. And there's a gradual sweetness towards the middle of the palate, and a little bit of bitterness in there still. Wow, it's absolutely gorgeous beer. I wish I had a better camera and you guys get a really good look at those ruby hues. But this is, of course, Founder's Dirty Bastards bigger brother. Slightly bigger in ABV, almost 2% bigger. Really no alcohol on the palate, but you definitely get a huge warming in the chest, which is, it's got to be from the bourbon barrel aging, because I've had Imperial Stouts 11, 10, 10, 11, 12% ABV, and not gotten as much warming in the chest as this, but definitely not in the palate. And like I said, I let it set out for a little bit longer than beers that I normally would, than what I would normally let a beer set out for a review. A little bit of tongue tied here today. Really long, frustrating night at work. So, great time to catch a review. But yeah, it's definitely developing more in the glass. I'm getting more sweet toffee and sweet caramel in there. Really nice sweet vanilla oakiness in there. The bourbon character is mingling much better with the caramel and toffee and the vanilla. That vanilla oakiness. I'm getting a little bit of that sweet candied dark fruit in there. I think that mixes really well with bourbon. Yeah, that mixes really, really well with that bourbon character that dark fruit does. But yeah, like I was trying to say a moment ago, normally I let my beers set out for 10 to 15 minutes before a review, so I can get a somewhat of an initial freshly out of the fridge cold character, and it develops in the glass over the next 5 to 10 minutes of my review. I let this set out a little bit longer because it is a bigger beer, and I want to get more of a development out of it. That bitterness that I had in the initial few drinks is really subsiding. It must have just been something, maybe just my perception was off a little bit. But anyways, definitely getting a huge warming in the chest now. So much more so than in the beginning. I'm definitely getting more of a bourbon character in the nose now. Man, this is really amazing smell. It's got to me, it's got all those really great characters that of bourbon without any of that harshness. And the really nice oaky vanilla. Oh, I forgot to mention the peat smokiness. That's I was thinking it the whole time and completely forgot about it. But that peat smokiness is there. It's not as pronounced as with Dirty Bastard, but that as it's warming up a little bit more and developing in the glass, it's warming. That smokiness is mingling with the bourbon character a lot more, and it's coming out to be almost scotch-like in character. Yeah, it's like almost like a mild Scotch whiskey character coming out in it, and it's only been going for about, I don't know, 5 minutes in the review. I've been stumbling over my tongue. Like I said, frustrating night at work, but I wanted to get this review in for the end of the week. Hopefully, it's not too horribly randomly rambling. Anyways. You know what? I'm going to say something, and it's going to be very controversial. I think it's about KBS. Now, KBS is an awesome bourbon barrel aged chocolate coffee imperial stout made by founders, brewed by founders, I should say, and absolutely amazing beer. I gave it an A+. However, I think Backwoods Bastard, those vanilla or the caramel and toffee characteristics really mingle much better with the bourbon barrel aging than KBS does. And like I said, it seems to accentuate the dark fruits that are there in typical Scotch, that are typical in a Scotch ale. And I just think it complements everything. It amplifies and complements the caramel, the toffee character, that those really like candied dark fruit, like dark cherries. It's almost the vanilla character in the bourbon. Excuse me, and the oak almost without a little bit of that peat smoke almost gives it a sort of a chocolate covered cherry characteristic. It's not pronounced. It's just little faint hints of it here and there. I just think the barrel aging complements this beer better than KBS. Wait, is that what I'm trying to say? Well, bar none, what I'm saying is I like this beer much better than KBS. Although, again, KBS is probably the top 3 chocolate coffee oatmeal imperial stouts that have been aged in bourbon barrels. But probably in everybody's listing, I would think. I think it's probably the only one that I've ever had. Well, I have had their Canadian breakfast stout, which is a version of one of their breakfast stout variants. They have three. The regular breakfast stout, their KBS, and then their Canadian breakfast stout. And from what I've told, they're all three different recipes. Hey Tony, you're rambling. I know I'm rambling. I apologize, but the CBS is the Canadian breakfast stout. CBS is aged in bourbon barrels that previously cured maple syrup. Anyways, back to Backwoods Bastard from Founders, guys. Anyways, guys, I've rambled on. Again, huge sweet toffee, huge sweet caramel, a nice sweet vanilla, a little bit of an oaky flavor in there. The bourbon plays beautifully with the peat smoked malts, making it almost a scotch whiskey character. Nice, almost a chocolate covered candied cherry character in there. Just a phenomenal beer. It is their November specialty release. They have special releases all year long, every few months it seems like. A little bit easier to get than KBS, but still you might have to beat up a little old man to get a hold of it. Anyways, phenomenal beer. I'm gonna have to give this because I gave, you know what? It is, in my opinion, so much better than KBS. It just kind of goes under or over everybody's radar. It definitely sells out quick, but I was able to get a 4-pack well after it was released, almost 2 weeks after it was released. So definitely out of reach now, but next year, guys, hunt it down, talk to your bottle guy, whoever you need to talk to at the beer store to get your name on a reservation list. Do it now. That way it'll be reserved next November, barring any zombie apocalypse. But if that happens, I think I'm going to hold up at Founders because they got awesome beer. Anyways, great on this, guys. Ramble. I'm gonna give this an A++ because it is kind of hard to get a hold of, but once you do, it's well worth it. Anyways, guys, go ahead and get out of here. Cheers. No chug, but I will give you a final cheers. Thanks for watching, and remember, ramble.